Bass Tech fans, welcome to another episode of our Hooked Up Lives. We have some very, very special guests tonight that's representing, if you'd have it, ePropulsion. We'll definitely dive into that in just a moment. But I'd like to take just a brief moment and thank each and every one of our sponsors for our Hooked Up Lives, brought to you by Line Taming Serum, Star Lures, Just Catch Bass, G2 Gemini jerseys, in which I said the last time for G2 Gemini jerseys, I was going to correct the code in there for your 25% discount. So it's actually, instead of 22, it's actually 23. So I actually edited it while I was in the middle of that banner streaming through. So it's changed now, guys and gals. Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors, Dugout Bait and Tackle, and PFD Fishing. Get over there and check out each and every one of them. We're greatly appreciative of each one that is sponsoring our Hooked Up Live shows. So, brief moment before we introduce our folks tonight we've got on our live. Folks, if you have not got over there and signed up for the Nights of Lights, we have an awesome event that is going to be a night to remember. The band Waleska is going to be there performing live. There's no cost to attend. Meal tickets are on sale right now. If you go directly to our website, GABassTech.com, look there at the bottom of the screen. Go through, it talks through how you go through the meal tickets, and you go through Venmo and pay for the meal tickets. It's $10 for adults, $5 for children. But to attend the Nights of Lights, there is zero cost. You can come in there free, hang out, get a free concert show out of it, supporting these local vendors that's going to be showing up. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that's going to be part of that night. It is going to be a really, really fun night. So no further ado, I'm going to bring on all of our folks that's representing tonight. First and foremost, we want to bring on Johnithan Combee and Miss Lauren Robards. They represent GA Bass S.O.S. Congratulations on points champion. We have Ryan and Chris, Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors Southeast. Again, Combee, Roberts, congratulations on points champs.
Thank you, sir.
And correct me if I'm right with this. Y'all, Johnithan, you fished two other clubs as well, not with Lauren, but with others, correct? And you were points champion in those as well?
Not necessarily points champions. I don't want to discredit the two teams that finished ahead of us in SOS, but they had respectfully Blake and Jay Yarder. They've been fishing with Donnie Boone with High Voltage for quite some time, and they elected to fish with him. And then we had Soy and his son Z. Soy and Callie, they're actually branching off and fishing a big boat trail this year. So, yeah, we finished third against some very stiff competition. I mean, we had who was it? The Hightowers actually joined SOS this year and fished with us. I mean, obviously everybody in the fishing world knows them, the electric scene.
Right. And so let's talk about something right off the rip. Obviously, from last night's transpiring of events, we see Georgia Red Bulldogs representing. Combee, give you your opportunity if you want to talk some nasty talk over there. I see a hand moving.
No, I mean, they did their thing last night. There's nothing you can say about that.
I didn't know if you wanted to reach for your cup, what we seen before we started the live or something. That's what I was saying.
Nah, I think I'll hold off on that one. We haven't been doing so well the past couple of years. We're rebuilding right now.
Hey, I've said it, and I don't remember if I said it on the last live interview we did. If we did, I apologize. But, you know, where I went to college at, we actually still to this day have the best record, undefeated football team where I went to college. Still to this day, undefeated.
Where's that?
ABAC. It's because we don't have a football team.
Oh, shit.
So our first day, I went down there and we walked into the bookstore to start getting all of our books. Believe it or not, back in the day in college, they actually made you have books. Now it's more digital. But walked into the bookstore and they had shirts there that said "Still Undefeated." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And they told the story about it. I was like, I got you.
That's awesome.
So, I just want to ask Ralph Rip, Lauren, how much did you have to carry Johnithan along the year fishing this past year? Did you lay it on him pretty strong during the season, or?
I would say half and half.
Because I mean, a lot of the social media posts that I see of y'all, and I know we talked about it, I think, on the last live interview we done with y'all, that y'all have a close home body reservoir that y'all like to fish, and a lot of those social media posts that I see of y'all's is, I mean, y'all catch some absolute tanks out of that lake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
TJ Spivey that was on with Jeff Souza the other night, he actually spoke about the same home body lake where he caught the 1378 or 88 or whatever it was, and that 1588 was caught.
Man, that's
It's
crazy.
actually where that fish that was in the GON, I think it was about maybe 7 years ago, that one just under 18 pounds that was caught out of there.
You know, I do remember. I think I remember Jeff Reese sending me that picture that time of that angler catching that one that was that big. I do remember that now. I forgot about that. Old age, I guess. So let's talk about a very unique thing, because, I mean, you have been actually on our Hooked Up Lives each and every time that we've done the intros and the outros of it. You were, if I remember correctly, Chris and Ryan, y'all can help me on this. I'm pretty sure y'all were the only boat in the TEC last year that was running an ePropulsion motor. And y'all were some tough characters to find. And you even told me where you was kind of heading the general direction. And we finally caught up with you. But you led the field last year at Blast Off.
Yeah, TJ and I, we had a game plan set after we had pre-fish there, and we went for it. We ran over towards Goose Island, and we had Daniel and want to say he had Bobby Hood maybe fishing with him last year, and they were kind of riding our surf there next to us. So it was kind of a neck and neck gig there for a pretty good ways until we branched off and went over one way and they went the other.
And Ryan can vouch for this. When we caught up with y'all finally about middle of the day, I mean, it was God sent. I mean, if we hadn't have beached the boat where we beached it for the opportune moment, and I'm not going to disclose reasoning to why, but we beached it, and man, that was like the perfect angle, wasn't it, Ryan?
Oh yeah, that was perfect timing. Great shot. But you guys are running the older Navy, right? The older.
Yes, sir. We got the Navy 6.0.
And the battery packs you're running lithium packs off of it, correct?
Yeah, I'm running a pack that I actually got from Travis Simmons. Jeff Souza actually mentioned it the other night. I guess doesn't run as good with the Elko motor, but I'm running the Roy Pal. It's actually a 51 volt, 160 amp hour pack. It's 159, 160 pounds, and I can run my boat 90 minutes at full throttle with that battery pack. I mean, I've never killed a battery, and I actually sent you a map of where we ran that day during the TEC, and I think we covered 13 miles, and I still had close to 30% battery life left.
And that boat will run. Let me ask this first. So, trolling motor, you're running a 24 volt?
No, I just have a 12-volt, 55-pound thrust Terova up front.
Graphs wise,
Lawrence Elite TI2. I'm powering that with a
TI9.
the TI9. It's
Old school.
but that's powered by one of the PowerSonic 45 amp hour batteries. I actually picked it up from a place up from where I work in Forest Park. What is the name of that place? It's some type of
New Way.
New Way. That's it.
You know what I found out this past week?
What's that?
Yeah, it was this past. No, it was yesterday. They've closed their doors because of a fire that happened.
No way.
Yes.
I hate to hear that.
Oh, man.
Supposedly that's what I heard, but one of our anglers in our club was actually going to get a set of batteries, and that's what he found out. Caught on fire or something. But what's the speed you're seeing out of the boat setup that you're running?
Honestly, right now, since I switched over to lithium in the front, I've literally got a amped outdoors 60 amp hour battery that weighs 13 pounds running my Terova, and then that 7-pound PowerSonic battery that powers my graph and my fish saver for my live well. So I got 20 pounds in batteries in the front of my boat, and then another 160 in the back. So I have a total of 180 pounds of battery weight in my boat, which is a 15-foot tracker topper. And if I'm by myself, I'll run anywhere from 11.2 to 11.5. With Lauren in the boat, we get anywhere from 10.5 to 10.8. And then if I got a bigger body, nothing against TJ or Joey, but we're still pushing over 10.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
That really is awesome. So let's dive into y'all's 2022 season, being points champion stuff. Threw around stuff like that. What did y'all have like a memorable time during the year that kind of just set apart as far as a good moment, bad moment, something, maybe a fish that got away or something? Y'all have any memorable moments?
Yeah, actually we fished Lake Lucas, and I want to say it was the first part of April after there had already been a couple clubs fishing that thing, and it opens in March. It used to be known for largemouth. Now spots have pretty much all but taken it over. So I think we had 2 or 3 fish in the boat. I want to say it was 3. And we came up on this point. I caught about a 2.5 pound largemouth male that was peeing while I was putting that thing on the scales. I'll let Lauren tell you the rest.
Well, I think what caught our attention was we heard a huge splash and he threw over there, and I guess he hooked up with the male. And I was like, there's no way that's the fish. So after he brought that one in and he was unhooking it, I threw back over there and I set the hook, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the one. And he was like, keep your rod down. And like, I don't even know I think he still had the fish in his hand, and he's like,
no, I dropped it in the bottom of the
yeah.
boat with the scale still snapped to it. It's flopping around the boat while I'm reaching for the net.
Yeah, I think it was
just under 5 pounds.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm assuming largemouth.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Was that y'all's biggest fish this year?
Tournament wise, no. That did end up being big fish of that tournament, but I think I caught one. That was the biggest one in SOS I think we caught.
What does SOS stand for us new people?
Sunday Open Series. So
Okay.
I started a Sunday series for one myself sometimes 2 years back when I started it. Unfortunately, I had to work a Saturday or two per month, so I couldn't really commit to a Saturday trail. So I was like, why not just kick off a Sunday trail for people that may have the same issue or guys that just like to fish and want to hop in on a Sunday trail.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't no Sunday trails around. So, well, I take it back. There was the one man series, wasn't it? There for a while, they was running on Sundays, wasn't he?
Yeah, Terry Lee ran a 3 and 5. I actually fished that one as well with Jeff Souza and a couple other fellows. But
Now, how long have y'all been doing SOS?
2 years.
Okay.
Or we'll be going into our 3rd year next month.
And what part of the globe do y'all fish on?
We're pretty much south of I-20 outside of we fish Hard Labor Creek and Black Shoals. I mean, we're pretty much down in High Falls, Juliet, in between that general area there.
Y'all fish any of the big lakes?
Juliet's the biggest lake that we fish, but they have a cap on a 25 horsepower limit.
Okay.
You've not had history of like running big boats, big lakes, stuff like that prior to, even though you do fish some with some guys, I think, right?
As far as with the club or
No, just in general.
Just personally.
yeah, I actually hopped in the Gerald Swindle Big Bass Tour in October in Gunnersville. We fished that one. That was a blast, man.
I didn't ask you how that went.
Oh, we caught so many fish and lost a couple that would have got us in the money and had a couple in the live well and waited until that last minute and they just kept getting knocked out and knocked out and knocked out. If you didn't have anything over 4.5 pounds, it wasn't even worth going to the scales.
Dang.
And that was my first time fishing the lake and I absolutely loved it.
I've actually had a couple of our anglers in our club that has said that, man, we just need to take a John boat tournament and go over and fish Gunnersville on one of those side creek arms.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of them there.
So experience, you talking about spotted bass. Do you have a preference? Do you like going after largemouths, spots, both of y'all?
I think ours is largemouth. Last year, Lauren actually did catch her personal best spot out at the same Lake Lucas.
I think it was 4.5.
It was 4 pounds, 12 ounces.
Where are you?
Wow. Wintertime or
March.
March? That's awesome.
That was pretty fun.
They do have big spots in down at Lucas then.
Oh, yeah. I think Lake Yarder and Charlie Dick, I want to say they had maybe a 17-pound bag out there, all spots.
Wow.
So what about Blue Ridge? Have y'all made the trip up, traveled up, take a look at it?
We have not yet. It's definitely on the agenda. I was going to go this past Monday, I think it was, but I had a death in the family, so kind of threw that for a loop. But we definitely intend on getting down there at least twice before the Derby to check it out. And I honestly hope this rain keeps pushing in like it is, because that's going to help us fish to our streaks.
Yeah. I will tell you something, just kind of make an announcement in general on something. Those that did go up there Saturday, there was a couple of folks up there pre-fishing, practicing stuff. They noticed the same thing. So they are putting the floating docks in, and the boat ramp is actually got some damages done to it by the heavy equipment that's drove down the ramp. So those guys that are planning on going out pre-fishing and stuff like that, you can still utilize the ramp. There's like 2 sinkhole areas where there was voids under the concrete, washed out underneath it. And when the big equipment drove over it, it crumbled the concrete and it's made like a little pothole type deal. So just hug to the center. And on that, if you're standing at the top of the ramp, looking down left ramp, just hug that right-hand side in that center. You'll be totally fine. But I spoke with them today at the marina. So I'm assuming y'all probably put in your homework, double checking, looking at Blue Ridge. Obviously, I don't mind just tiptoeing around it and just being blunt and talking about it. So flows in that river, high muddy waters. You're probably just like me. It doesn't scare you one bit. Fishing that shallow, cold water.
I've been looking at it at the maps. I mean, contour lines, hard bottom, soft bottom, points. I already know the first place I want to go start at's 2.3 miles. The back of that pocket's 3 miles. I know right where I'm going whenever I start there.
I'm not trying to dive in on areas, but you just mentioned something. You've already studied hardness, softness, stuff like that. Is there a particular, is it like a Lowrance unit that you're able to say that that's what it's from? Looking at how are you checking that? Just curious. If you don't want to talk about it, we can say skip.
There's a social map that anybody can use, CMAP Genesis online. And anybody that's ever graphed something and shared information, you can go on literally any lake and see what's been graphed and just look at contour lines or anything of that nature.
So I've recently made the transition over to Lowrance, and I have not started just searching around in the CMAP world of different things, but I have heard it's kind of the same thing like you just mentioned. I have not sat down and done it. Travis Simmons saying that ePro will definitely make that run. He's familiar.
Oh,
yeah. But just pausing for a moment. If anybody has any questions, feel free, fire away. I'm sure Johnithan and Lauren will be more than glad to answer any questions you might have possibly. So, Ryan, Chris, y'all got any questions?
Yeah, I was just curious to hear about how y'all season went. Did y'all just come out and dominate every single tournament, or did y'all have some struggles? Did you have some lakes that you went to where you weren't sure you were going to make it to the end, or how did y'all season go?
With SOS, we only had 7 tournaments outside of the fish off, and we won a tournament. We got second in a tournament. We got 3 big fish in different tournaments. I mean, we had a pretty solid year. That's just as far as top 3 finishes. We're pretty steady there in the top 5. But I mean, again, we're going up against some absolute hammers there that it's tough, man. It's no easy feat.
Yeah.
No.
Y'all got any plans for boat upgrades this year, or anything y'all looking at doing differently, or y'all got your setup pretty well dialed in?
Honestly, man, my boat's probably the most redneck thing out there. It's built out of love and made for water. It's my live well consists of a Thermos 104 quart cooler there with a fish saver in it, and TJ Spivey, my partner with a backwoods, he actually talked me into ditching the cheese ball bucket that I've been using to fill the live well up this year, and we cut about a 4 or 5 foot piece of water hose off and stuck it on that fish saver where we could drop that in the water and close the lid on the live well with the water pumping in it and keep fishing rather than dipping water in there with that cheese ball bucket, but I've had people offer me money for that cheese ball bucket, man.
Hey, man, I love cheese balls. And buckets are hard to come by. That's almost like my Cool Whip bowl collection.
I know that's right. That's the best Tupperware there is.
It is. So I'm curious because me and Ryan were actually talking about live well setups the other day. How long could you go in a tournament without having to put more water in or change some of the water out? Or did you just fill it up in the morning and leave it in there all day and just let it recirculate?
Yeah, like I said, I got that fish saver there that kind of just aerates the water. We put the please release me in there, and on the hot summer days, I freeze ice bottles and put them in there every hour and a half or two to keep the water temp cool. And I've honestly, thankfully, I've never lost the fish. I'm really big on fish care. Unless I hook one in the gill or they just absolutely choke it where I can't get it out without tearing something out, I don't lose a fish.
I don't think we'll run into that issue up at Blue Ridge as far as warm water or having to keep ice in a live well for the duration of the tournament. So
I guess I'll have to do my homework on fizzing if I do happen to pull one out of 25 plus feet of water there. I do have the clips there for the bottom tail fin, I guess it would be called, to keep them afloat there, or keep them upright.
So Combee is president of Georgia Bass S.O.S, and I know we was on the director's call meeting, and that's one thing that we did discuss about going into this event this time of year. Fish are going to probably wind up belly up in live wells at some point. If not, most people probably will run into that issue. You can YouTube it, search it. There is ways you can fizz. Just like what he mentioned, the clips that you put on the fins, that is probably one of the less stressed situation you can cause to a fish, and most time it helps correct them automatically. So
you mean you could do that without necessarily having to fizz them? You can just alligator clip that dorsal fin, and
it just depends on too how they swim off when you release them back. Sometimes they'll still belly up. Right. I don't mind saying it on the live. So the times I've been up there, ours have been literally bellied up in the live well. But when you release them back, they can go back down. It just, you got to watch them and see. Some of them do, some of them don't. Just depends on how they acclimate. And fizzing them's it's really not that difficult. You just got to make sure to insert in the right locations. There's two spots that people mostly do. It's straight down the throat with the needle, or if you go back from the side fin, I think you count back like 2 scales back from its side fin where it touches. You push it flat up against, go back, count 2 scales, go in at an angle, 45 degree. Once you pierce just the skin, then you take and literally flip it upright 90 degree and then just have it underwater and then just push in ever so slightly. And when you're underwater with the end of the straw or whatever in, the tubing part, you'll start seeing the air pockets. And the key is you don't want to fizz every single bit of it out. If you do that, that could cause too much stress to them and kill them. There's an art to the fizzing part of them, but we fully anticipate it will probably be fizzing fish after the TEC event for a while down there at the water. So if anybody wants to learn fizzing, we could probably do a demo that day.
I'm gonna have to Google that. I ain't never heard of this witchcraft.
Come on up north. You'll experience some more. So Jason Brown, first of all, congratulations on winning. Curious, when you guys are fishing a tournament, do y'all try and target the biggest bass on the lake? Or do you start off by just trying to catch a limit? How do y'all approach?
That's a good question.
Honestly, I usually leave it to Lauren to put a limit in the boat, and I'm the one up front going after that donkey.
Yep.
And hell, I'd say probably 30% of the time she ends up catching a bigger fish of the day than I do, just finesse fishing. And I'm up there throwing 3 different things by the time she's done reeled in 4 times. And I done casted 10 times.
This is a good question there, Mr. Brown. So what about upgrades? Do you have any particulars of things you'd like to do to the boat or plans of future boat or anything like that? I mean, it sounds like with like the cheese ball statement, you definitely don't want to part with the memories of the boat.
Right. Yeah.
Or gear too, fishing gear. I'd like to hear if you want to do any fishing gear upgrades.
No, I think I'm pretty content with where we're at with our gear wise. I mean, go out in my garage right now and there's probably 237 packs of plastics across the bench out there. So there's no lack of hard baits or plastics or anything of that nature. But I currently have the boat decked. We decked it, me and my pops decked it in, let's say it was 2015, 2016 with wood. So I would like to get over to the aluminum world and knock some weight out there. Maybe make the boat go a little faster. And
What thickness of wood did you use?
I'm sorry.
What kind of wood did you use and what thickness?
Shoot,
Or do you even remember?
It's been in there so long, I honestly couldn't tell you, bud. I know it was 1x2s or 2x2s that we used for the framing, and then just plywood.
Because you guys have one of the smaller boats in the field. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's a 15-foot tractor topper. So, I mean, it's 48 inches wide in the back.
Yeah, no, that's I really like y'all's setup. I think that that helps y'all get that speed kind of as well.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm sure we got that wood out of there and decked it in aluminum, put a rod locker in there, and open up a lot more space on the deck, and probably drop 50 plus more pounds out of the boat, and maybe get that thing running up in the 12s.
Yeah.
You didn't treat the plywood whenever you didn't like seal it or anything like that when you laid it?
We did make sure it didn't get weathered and before we laid the carpet on it.
You garage keep it?
It is. It's in the garage right now.
I was about to say it's probably got to be for 2015 to now. That's got to be garage kept.
Yeah, I got a spot or two on the front carpet where it's starting to come up, so I'm trying to take it as far as I can go and not convince myself to crack the piggy bank open, but I'm sure it's coming here soon. I'll be reaching out to you guys.
Sounds good.
So I just got a question for Lauren on this.
Oh,
Obviously, and I hate to kind of single you out on this necessarily. I know from a man-to-man, Johnithan and myself talking, I know how men are with buying lures excessively. But y'all as a couple fishing together, do you share the same passion to where you're literally like, oh my gosh, I found this bait, and like you just got to go buy it? Do you have that same passion?
yeah, and I feel it's like to our detriment because we have to buy double of everything. So like if he buys a new rod and reel, I'm like, oh, what about me? Or I'll take this and I'm like, ooh, I really like how that feels. So yeah.
So I got a question for both of y'all. One more, and I'll try to quit just firing out left and right. But have y'all ever had a moment like fishing wise, lures? Maybe you just didn't want to tell the other one, like, I don't want you to know what I'm wanting to throw type deal. And you just want to, is there like your secret lure you don't even want to share amongst yourselves?
I know it sounds really weird, but just being a female, I like the pretty lures. So I'll buy like sparkly ones or whatever, and then I'll want to use them, and then I end up using them and catching fish, and I'm like, haha, I told you I'd catch fish. And like one of his favorite crankbaits to use is a DD22, a lavender shad that
Combee's over
Just
there.
happened to pick out because it looked pretty. And God, I've been catching some donkeys on that thing, dude.
I seen Combee the second she said DD22, and he just went the deep breath. Told on me. Oh, hey, no joke. You talking about, and I'm just going to refer to them as pretty lures. When you get up there to Blue Ridge, I mean, I ain't gonna keep no secrets to you. Those pretty lures up there, the spotted bass really chomp on them. So, detail on that lake for sure.
I mean, you did mention there being blueback up there like Lanier, right?
There is blueback carrying in the lake. I don't know. It's kind of tough for me to. I've been up there a handful of times, and it's just I don't know. It's tough to distinguish fully if it's the bluebacks or if it's other bait fish of some kind. So Gary bait fish and he got all fired up, huh? Bait fish is the trigger word.
I guess so.
He didn't bark, or she. So, Ryan, Chris, any more?
Ryan, you got anything?
Yeah. What's y'all's favorite lake and least favorite lake to compete in tournaments at?
My favorite is hard labor. I like fishing structure.
Yeah.
What about your least favorite?
Hickory log. God.
But you like fishing structure, though. You just said it.
I don't know. I'm not too
She
fond
says
of
she
that.
hates hickory log, but she caught 47 fish probably when we were out there, and
It was
they
a
ranged
deep
from
test.
1-1 to a 1-4. I
Is that the
threw a
reason why you
buzzbait all day and missed 2 fish that probably would have been over 3 pounds and won the tournament for us. But I mean, that's just how we fish. I mean, I go for broke. I'm a power fisherman, and she's back there finesse fishing, pulling up for us.
So Ron Pendergrass has got a question here. What's y'all's favorite technique? And I think y'all have already touched on it a little bit. What's y'all's favorite technique or your go-to baits?
Mine's a shaky head.
Shaky head.
It honestly depends on the time of the year. I mean, starting February to summer, I would say trap chatterbait. Then I'm gonna definitely have topwater going every single day I'm out there. That's my go-to bait for me is topwater because that's where that big bite's gonna come from first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Most definitely. Ryan, Chris, fire away if you got another.
How long have you two been fishing together?
I think we started fishing with 5 Alive in 17. We got together in 2016.
We met Josh Thompson out at BT Brown, and he was like, "Y'all come hop in a derby." At that time, the Little John, as I call it, I had a one trolling motor on the front of the boat. So we put in out there at Horton and hopped in this derby. And I think we got second in big fish. Never fished the lake before. My buddy TJ told me go straight out from the ramp. Back behind the island, there's some pond dams back there. I tried the new braid gig. I had a fluke on straight braid. Set the hook on this fish, snapped the line at the spool, see my line floating there in the water. I trolled over to it, picked it up, and hand reeled in a 5.5 pound bass. That was our first tournament. I mean, that's just how the day started.
Did you quit buying? Did you quit buying that brand of braid?
Oh, it got stripped off whenever I got home because I broke off another one. Same instance.
When you're saying stripped off, you're meaning like literally it kept pulling the drag out until it got to the end, and then.
No, I mean I took it home and pulled all the line off the reel. Like whenever I set the hook on that 5.5, it snapped the line at the spool.
Jeez.
And that was my final time throwing braid outside of I throw 65 pound on my frog rod, but that's probably my extent of braid fishing unless I'm punching or something of that nature.
I've had that happen. Go ahead.
I was going to say, even then, I'll probably just use some real heavy mono punching.
I've had that happen one time where I was throwing braid with a whopper plopper and lost about a 6 to 7 pounder. It was during a tournament. It was at Latham. Made me sick as a dog. So
y'all mostly fish mono now?
Fluorocarbon.
Flora. Okay. That's I just funny to hear other people's opinions. I've been fishing with braid since I don't know, probably at least the last 10, 15 years. And I catfish and do a little bit of bass fishing. Never had an issue with it.
Oh yeah, it's good for catfish, and you feel everything. I mean, that braided line, a lot of people, they run the braid to fluoro with the leader knot there just to get that extra sensitivity when you're finesse fishing. But as far as straight braid, I don't do it for anything other than frog fishing.
Yeah. We got another question coming from Ron Pendergrass. What's your guys' most memorable day fishing a tournament knowing you have the winning bag?
This season?
I think he just means of all time.
Oh, that would definitely be at J.W. Smith. Lauren was making me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at 11 o'clock. We were at J.W. Smith fishing a 5 Alive derby. And first 5 bites for me on a chatterbait. 26.10 is what got put in the boat. And she caught one just under 4 pounds that didn't help. And we actually caught it in front of Wayne Glaze and a couple other people and threw it back. And they just looked at us with a look of disbelief.
Yeah, that's the ultimate flex. Throw him back a 4.5.
Did they ask you for a peanut butter sandwich? Something in the peanut butter.
I think they were cussing us off at a distance.
So I'm going to be really shaking in my boots come February. If I see you pull up, I'm going to ask you, are you bringing the peanut butter and jelly?
Now, what's y'all's worst fishing trip y'all have ever had together?
Lauren's like, how do I count the numbers of times?
I'd say probably not worst as far as something terrible happened, but we fished a 5 Alive tournament about 4 years back, and we caught 5 fish off the rip. And I mean, we had a good bag. We were back in the back of the lake near a tree line, and I got a call from Josh Thompson saying, "Hey, everybody's heading to the ramp. I think I'm about to call the tournament." I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about, dude?" And he's like, y'all need to go now. And then the next thing you know, I look up and there's just this black line across the top of the sky where this huge storm came in out of nowhere. At that time, I only had one trolling motor on the back, so we just beached it there. And it was 30 minutes of just torrential downpour. There was people that barely made it back to the ramp. I mean, it was bad.
The cheese ball bucket came in handy that day.
I bet it did.
I think Travis Simmons was the only other boat that stayed back there with his pops, and they beached it with us as well. And they're like, dude, there's no way we're riding all the way back to the ramp right now to get out of this thing. You got to take cover. I mean, it was bad.
I was praying like the whole time. Like it was very scary. And I was so mad at him for not trying to get us back. I was like, we're going to die out here.
There was literally no way I could have got that boat back to the ramp from where we were at, though. I just had to make the safe call and beach it.
I'd agree to that. There's been a couple tournaments I've done the same thing, hug some trees. Me and my wife was actually fishing together. And yeah. Ron's got another question to it. Have y'all guys ever tried line taming serum?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, I already knew that answer.
That saved our butt in the winter last year, keeping that line from freezing up. And also, after fishing a fluke or something of that nature for so long, you get those line twists, and you get your line about 10 feet from the boat and you already see it start swirling. I mean, you just cast out, drop a couple drops on there, reel it in, drop a couple drops on there, and then after about 3 casts, you're back to brand new.
It is some awesome stuff.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
I've not used anything similar to it. I haven't. All the other competitor brands, I haven't. I'm going to try to do something totally different. And I don't know how I'm going to do it and not give it away. So it's about our Nights of Lights. I kind of want to ask everybody just kind of music trivia, I guess you could say. I'm going to try to take and see if I can do just audio, and I don't think I can. I think I'm going to have to share my video screen, which I unfortunately don't. Let me see if I can I'm going to just do this. I know what I'm going to do. I don't know if everybody will still be able to see my screen or not, but I'm going to try to do this. Are y'all able to see my screen?
No.
You just got us right now, bud.
Okay, good. And that's what I want to make sure of. So I'm going to try to share and stream, which now y'all are able to see everything on my screen, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Now we got you. Now we got us.
So hopefully nobody can see me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play. This is the band Waleska that's going to be playing. And I want to see if anybody knows this song. I'm only going to play just a short clip of it, but I'm kind of intrigued to see if y'all can guess what song it is. So if you're listening, you're watching, leave us a comment. Let us know what song this is. So here we go. Anybody got it? Anybody guessing on it?
I kind of feel like Mark will be mad at me for not knowing it.
Shot. First thing that comes to my mind when I first heard it was very superstitious writing on the wall. But that was just the first little riff there.
Chris, Ryan?
I ain't got a clue.
Me neither. Gonna be honest.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Combee, you're 100% correct.
Oh.
100% correct. That is superstition. That's one of the songs. They're an old school rock and roll band. I think they've got one song that they've kind of got as their own. But I just kind of want to throw that out there. They're the ones that's going to be playing. I'm going to be doing a commercial video with them very, very soon. I'll be putting out hopefully before the banquet. So, but that being said,
I could jam out to that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a night of fun. I'm telling you, they're really excited. All those young men that's going to be playing down there, free concert. It's going to be a blast. So, Chris, Ryan, you'll get any more questions? I know I changed gears on you there pretty quick.
No, you're fine. One question that I've been asking everybody in this in interviews, just out of curiosity, do y'all have any products that don't currently exist that you think should exist, or anything that y'all have seen being tournament anglers like, man, I wish they made this, or I wish somebody would come out with something that did, whatever, anything that y'all would like to see come out?
That's a hard one there. I think it'd be pretty neat for maybe in the wintertime having a heated rod handle for finesse fishing,
That's a good idea.
I'm not a guy that wears gloves much, so I can't wear gloves, honestly. I'd
Get you some hot hands and rubber bands, baby.
exactly.
Be out there shaking them up and rubber banding them to your handles.
I wear the Sims with the fingers cut out, but I just can't wear the fingered gloves. And then when it feels like somebody's got a pair of vice grips on my fingernails there, it's about time to put the hands in the pockets for a couple minutes. But
maybe we could talk to PFD Custom Rods. They might be able to do inserts within it and make something like that. I mean, it ought to be feasible to.
I might need to put a patent on that before damn Gerald Swindle or somebody hears about that.
Oh, lose. Here it comes.
We were talking about heated seats like a couple of years back, and I was like, we should do that. And then all of a sudden, Gerald Swindle comes out with, oh, the best part about this boat is the heated seats. I was like, I knew it was going to happen, but I wonder if they have it for like John boats.
Hey, that'd be cool. Heated flooring decking on an aluminum boat and standing on it barefooted. I know an angler, Justin Reynolds, always big on wearing flip-flops all year long. 12 months out of the year, he would show up to a tournament in flip-flops.
Nope.
That's like Ot Defoe. He's out there with no shoes on all the time. It don't matter what time of the year it is. He's walking around on the deck barefoot.
Heated decking. I like that too. That'd be cool. That's a cool concept. What about you, Lauren? Do you have anything fishing-wise related, boating?
Just the heated seats for like John boats. I've never looked into it. I know they make them for the big bass boats, but I don't know if I was like, maybe there could be an adapter to put on the seat and run it down or something. I don't know.
That'd be a cool idea.
So pretty much, I think we've talked about it on y'all's first interview we done ever together. Cold weather's not. Y'all like the heat of the summer, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm a Floridian.
They're my people.
Yes, sir.
I hate the cold.
What about the
Me
heated
too.
jackets? Have y'all looked into purchasing? Y'all got them already? The heated jackets?
I got a heated vest. I got heated socks controlled by app on my phone. Dude, I am not going to be out there and be cold.
Well, we're in Georgia, so let's just keep our fingers crossed and pray that weather is going to be decent come next month on the 25th, right?
Oh, I know how to dress in layers, but I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to it.
For my sake, I hope it's one of those rare 75-degree February days.
Exactly. With like
Just
a
so I
week's
don't have to be
worth of
out there
rain
freezing all
before
day.
it.
Now, have y'all ever fished up that far north, or have y'all fished anywhere up near there? I know you said you've never been to Blue Ridge.
We
What is-
fished Burton.
Yeah, we've been to Burton a couple times.
That's like my favorite lake ever.
Really? Why you like it so much?
I don't know. It's clear and beautiful, and
all the yuppie houses up there.
yeah, one of those. Okay.
$500,000 boat
Half.
houses.
More like they get $1 million just in their docks, probably.
That's what I said, boat
Yeah.
house.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, did y'all catch any jackfish when y'all were at Burton?
No, honestly, most of our bass were caught there by pretty near that marina. I don't know what was the name of that marina. The big name marina there at Burton.
Something.
Wildcat is got where the state park for the hatchery, the trout hatchery.
No, it wasn't that. It was
the nice where the
down at the dam down there.
yeah.
no.
It's where all the restaurants are.
That's where all the yuppies are.
So did y'all take a boat or did y'all fish from shore?
We were in my John boat, and dude, when I tell you that those seawalls bounce back, they bounce back.
Yes. Yes, they did. I forgot about that. So we fished it for the first time in our club last year, and that was the one thing that I did notice. Like everywhere you go on that lake, there are nothing but seawalls. They keep that shoreline protection vertical right there at it. And there was a couple of cruiser boats that came around a couple of times, and when they came by, the waves would hit us. They'd hit the wall, and buddy, there it come right back.
Yep,
big time. Sometimes even worse.
We had to stay in the marina because we couldn't make it out because it was so rough.
What time of year did y'all fish it?
Summer.
Yeah, I want to say it was summertime. We went up there and just enjoyed the scenery of the mountains, and that marina we were at, they had a pretty good barbecue place, and I want to say they had a little live band or something up there playing.
So here's one that actually, if I remember right, they were the ones, and might even be from that picture. I can't remember if it was that picture from Burton or not, but Chris Hembry, they put a whooping on us up there that day. So is there a ramp right there at that place where you was talking about where all the yuppies were?
Is it called La Parades or La?
Yeah,
La
there's
Parade
a ramp
something?
right there. They charge like $5 to launch out of it, I think.
I didn't even realize there was public access down there at that marina. I knew it had a ramp, but I thought it was all associated just with the yuppies.
No, there's a parking area across the street. They don't let you park there in the area, I guess, where
Yuppie
all the
parking.
festivities go.
Did y'all research? And I hate to kind of just keep beating Burton up, but did y'all research it before going up there and seeing the other boat ramp that's on the eastern shore of the lake?
Yeah, I actually, who did I reach out to?
I think it was Brett.
Yeah, I reached out to Brett Cumming, and he was like, dude, in your boat, from that marina, you can go pretty much all the way out to the main lake where it's a no wake zone. So
It's
he
pretty.
definitely helped us out there.
That other boat ramp is pretty dangerous. You have to literally, the parking lot, you have to back down and cross a 2-lane road just in the ramps right there. Like there's no turning around to back down. It's literally backing across a road on the other ramp.
A little on the sketchy side.
Everybody puts in there for that, for big tournaments and stuff. So, Mr. Souza's got a question. Hopefully I said that correctly. I tried my best to remember it. Lauren, do you throw shaky on a finesse spinning gear or do you prefer a baitcaster?
I used to until I tried a left-handed bait caster, and so I use a left-handed bait caster now.
So you're left-handed?
No, it's just like whenever I'm just finesse
She's
fishing.
shaking the worm with her right hand.
But I could use both. He can't for the life of him.
Same way.
Which
Spinning
is
rod.
weird that he could use a spinning reel, but he can't use the bait caster. He's like, it feels so weird.
Jeff's actually a lifesaver. Last year, I had something come up where I couldn't make a tournament with SOS, and I reached out to him and asked if he would be willing to fill in with Lauren so we didn't lose any points or whatnot. We actually ended up winning Team of the Year last year, thanks to Jeff, of course. But anyways, they teamed up on JW Smith, and I was on the way back from Florida fishing a saltwater trip with my pops, and Jeff was like, yeah, man, we got 17 pounds. I'm feeling pretty good. And I was like, is Lauren pulling any weight? And he was like, yeah, she's done caught 2 on an old monster. I'm like, yes, that's my girl.
Did it have sparkles in the old monster?
Yes.
Yeah. I had to ask. I think it's the African something. I think it's what the color is. One thing I'm thinking of, that black and all the flakes. Man, I love that color of old monster. Love it. So I have a question kind of expanding about spinning rods and stuff. So do y'all take and do braid backing on y'all's spinning rods?
Mm-hmm.
I do braid backing on pretty much everything just to save line, because fluorocarbon isn't cheap. I mean, and if you just run straight fluorocarbon, you're gonna use up a spool with 2 rods, where you could stretch it out to 3 with some backing there.
Well, how long is y'all's leaders y'all like to use on them for tipping it?
Oh, you're referring to
Spinning
braid.
rod. Sorry. Spinning rod.
I got you. I thought you were referring to when you're spooling. No, we run pretty much just straight fluorocarbon.
So like spinning rods, you don't put like braid as your backing and then do like a 10-foot leader for fluorocarbon on the ends?
I don't. I fish with people that do. I just don't have the confidence in that knot. Something I definitely need to work on, though, because I've fished with folks that do have it, and that sensitivity is different there.
Sensitivity increases tremendously, and just like what you were kind of even expanding on saying, from a different angle, the cost of fluorocarbon, just putting just a tip leader on it, man, it's because I assume y'all probably buy in bulk, right, for fluorocarbon, because you're stringing up multiple rods. Yeah. What's your favorite fluoro? Just curious.
P-line.
P-coated or just P-line fluoro?
Just the blue box P-line, the high dollar stuff, unfortunately. I mean, I don't run the sniper like a lot of people do, and that stuff gets expensive. But I mean, I've had 10-pound P-line and pulled up brush piles. It's unbelievable.
All right, I've got a question for all of us.
Okay.
I don't even know. So Matt has got a question. Do you guys deal with and I'm just going to leave that word there for that, and mussels in your waterways. I'm going to have to Google this.
I don't even know what that says.
I don't either.
Quagaga?
Looks like guaga.
I'm assuming no, since none of us know what it is.
When I lived in Florida, I used to walk in the water as a kid and pick mussels out of the water and catch bluegill with them, but I don't know what a
It's actually
Quagga
quagga.
is.
It's actually quagga, Quagga mussels. And I don't mind if y'all want me to. I'll share my screen so that way y'all can kind of all see it. Let's see here. This is the mussels, and I'm assuming yes. I'm assuming because I mean I don't know the differences between all the different types of mussels, but I mean yeah, these look kind of. I mean, I thought a muscle's a muscle, in my
I
opinion.
picked
What
a
is
couple
it?
of those
Hard
up
labor?
on a trap and a crankbait, I believe.
Yeah.
Ain't it? It is odd how like a rattle trap or something like that. I mean, it'll magically just bury that hook right into a shell of it and bring it
Right.
right up every time. Crankbaits, just neat. I would say yes. I don't know if it's exactly that muscle brand, but we got mussels. I don't believe it's necessarily the invasive mussels, Matt, if that's what you're maybe referring to. But
I know the catfish down here eat them. I don't know about bass and bluegill eat them.
so I want to ask something. So bring that up. That I keep going down different trails here of squirrel moments, but mussels.
Squirrel.
Yes, I mean it makes me think. Like, do y'all ever have that concept? And I know you're from Florida. You know about it. Inshore bay fish and stuff like that. You hear a lot of people talking about it, fishing the mussel beds, shoal beds, different stuff like that, the shell beds.
Oh yeah, oyster beds hold the big redfish.
All right. Have you ever looked into the concept on freshwater fish for those mussels and trying to target around them? Have you ever felt a resemblance there fishing in freshwater in these lakes in Georgia?
Yeah, the tournament where Lauren and Sousa fished together, they kicked butt on a shell bottom.
I'm glad that, I know you didn't have to say that, but it always seems like the times that the tournaments I've done the best, and those mussels move around year to year. But just like what you're saying, when you're catching those mussels in your treble hooks, you're like, it's a magic moment. You can probably get into some good fish there. So Matt is expanding on it. They're invasive species and they're rough on your line. They're in the Great Lakes.
That's
So
a
I
long
probably
way from home.
do what?
I said that's a long way from home for us.
It is a very, very, very long ways. I don't think it's that exact. Zebra mussels, I think, are most commonly, and I think there might be some areas where the zebra mussels have made it in and around here, but it's not common. It's not. Maybe it's just not talked about as much, and they're here. But appreciate the interactions, guys. If you got any questions, feel free to fire them out. Chris, Ryan, any more?
I had one I was thinking about earlier, and y'all kind of started touching on it, but we got off subject. But so y'all as a team, it sounds like when y'all go out, y'all have your own set of lures that you fish with and things that y'all like to use. Do y'all ever have times in tournaments where, like maybe Lauren's catching something and you've been trying everything else, and you're like, well, I guess I need to try what she's fishing with, or do y'all go back and forth like that, or y'all just pretty much stay with your own little program?
Oh yeah, it's pretty common for us to say I'll take a black and blue approach, or she'll take a watermelon or something of that nature, and whatever's getting bit better, we'll try and change things up a little bit there.
Now, how many times has that happened where she's been catching them on one color and then you switch over that color and she's still catching them and you can't catch nothing?
That's not really that common, and it could be a very subtle change as far as I'll put on something similar to what she has and just put a little dab of chartreuse on the end of it, and that may change her approach to fishing if I start getting more bites than what she was. I mean, there's a lot of different. It's a huge puzzle, and every day the pieces get scattered out. You just got to figure them out.
Then Lauren reaches down into the snack bag and pulls out the glittery worms and is like, yeah, I snuck these in today. It's going to catch it. Little sparkles.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is like him being a power fisherman. Like with my back problems, it's hard for me to power fish all day long. So if he's just killing them on it, I'll have one tied on and try to throw like a chatterbait or whatever for a little while, but eventually I'm just over it and go back. My finesse.
You ever feel guilty on that, Combee, wanting to slow down for?
I honestly think it helps me because I'll get to moving too fast sometimes, and I'll make 4 or 5 casts with a topwater, and then she's still on her first cast, shaking a worm. So I'll pick up a chatterbait, spinnerbait, something of that nature, and make those same 5 casts, and then I'll catch a fish, and it kind of dials me in there on what I need to be doing.
Do you ever have y'all ever been out with anybody in a boat with forward-facing sonar yet?
Oh yeah, I just caught my personal best crappie thanks to a forward-facing sonar.
So, the reason why I was bringing that up as a topic, so trying to power fish with forward-facing sonar would be, I can't even understand the concept, even thinking about how to go fast when you're utilizing that concept yet. It's just, you get sucked into a small window area, picking it apart. So Lauren might dig that a lot.
I've heard it helps a lot with your suspended fishing, which that's something that I lack in.
Yeah. And it really does shine, like you was talking about crappie fishing, man. It is unbelievable fishing for like crappie and yellow perch and stuff like that. So Ron was saying Ackworth has spots, mussels there, and he says that's where you'll catch the bass. I have noticed that on some of the lakes. So feel free, guys, gals, viewers, if you got questions, comments. We're getting on about an hour and 15 minutes now, so we'll kind of get close to wrapping it up. Chris, Ryan, any more questions?
Nope. I don't have any.
I got one more for you guys. So if y'all wind up winning it big at TEC, what y'all gonna do with them 2 motors?
Honestly, I'll probably put one on my boat and see if it runs any faster than what I got, and if it don't, I'll probably hell, I don't know.
You'll probably sit there and contemplate.
My buddy TJ, that's my partner with the backwoods, and I'll give one to Souza to try out on his boat and see if it does any better for him than it does the Elko that he's running, because he's running an older Elko. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a stingy guy by any means. I just like to see everybody out there having fun.
I would like to see triple Navy 6s on the back of your boat. That would be pretty cool.
You just try it one time at least, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know that the capacity of my weight load would support that, but if that
It'll be fine.
back would support it, I'll put 2 on there. And
here it is.
Probably have the bow of that boat running at about 11 o'clock in 2.5 seconds.
It would be ePropulsion 6.0 squared. Love it.
I don't know if they make wheelie bars for a boat, but I need one.
I know a man that can make it, right? Chris, right? So this guy Matt's got another question. Pretty cool. They have fisherwoman cover bass. That caught my daughter's eye. Do you do any fisherwoman outreach out there? So in our groups, we do have some couples that fish. Couple of club presidents actually fish with their companions, and I'm trying to think. Combee, do you know of any other just I don't know of any like dual women fishing or solos women fishing in the group.
I think Patricia fished a solo trail a year or two back that she did pretty well with. If she didn't win the whole damn thing, she was kicking butt.
Yeah, I can't remember if she did win points on that for the year. I want to say I thought she did. I want to say so. But no, I mean, we've never really, I guess, really went after a lot of anglers. It's not in John boat style fishing tournaments like what we are. It's more of we're local guys, and pretty much everybody knows everybody. But definitely one of the avenues is we definitely try to encourage and reach out a good bit about is bringing the youth in fishing. We have had quite a few different youth anglers. So half reigning state champion John White. Don't get old. I know he's probably still watching that. So saying congratulations to y'all. Thanks for all the bits of fishing tips over the past couple of years, Johnithan. You're one of the most consistent and humble anglers I know.
Appreciate that, buddy. I look forward to fishing with you again this year.
Just don't give them too much info. They already won a state championship. You know what I mean?
He's got to teach me his ways with that jerk bait. That's one bait I need to gain some confidence in. And John is the jerk bacon fool.
It does catch them. It really, really does. Ron was talking about with kayak fishing series. Is that the same one that has the YouTube channel? Christine Fisher, I think.
Yeah. Is she from the our sponsor?
Dugout Bait and Tackle. Yeah.
Dugout Bait and Tackle.
Yeah.
I know Trait Zaldane, she reaches out a lot. Like she's spending a lot of her time now reaching out to like female youth and like all female tournaments.
Have either of y'all looked into the kayaking side of things doing that?
Oh, no.
No.
So are y'all
That's not for me.
Well, okay.
It looks cool.
If a paddle's involved.
It's only fun in the summer. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah,
you will not catch me kayak bass fishing anytime but middle of the summer.
I got into that this past year, taking it up to the northern side of the Chattahoochee in the middle of summer because it was just too hot to be out on the lake, and got me a little 10-foot kayak and started catching shoal bass, and dude, it was a blast. I absolutely
That's
love
one
it.
thing I would like to do. I'd love to get into bass.
I will agree. River fishing in the dog days of summer in kayaks is a blast. But why do y'all think we talked about it? I think on the last show. Why do y'all think it is? Because I can read between the lines. Y'all kind of feel the same way when we're out there John boat fishing tournament style, and kayaks kind of come around, and it kind of uneasy feelings that sense to arise. Do y'all feel that same way sometimes?
Yep.
Not if it's a angler that's kayak fishing. I think they have a little more respect. But if you got the people out there that are just got their feet hanging off the side, sipping on a
White Claw.
God, thank you. I was blank, but they don't mind paddling right there in between the bank and you that you're fishing.
There have been a few tournament guys that have done that to people we know out at Hard Labor, specifically by the bridge.
I just
canoes.
Only reason why I was bringing that up, it ain't necessarily to point out. It like you were saying, I don't think it's necessarily the anglers because most anglers are going to stay courteous. I think it gets more into maybe the family that's not accustomed to it, that just wants to go out and paddle, or if it's, solo people that's just wanting to go out there and exercise. They don't understand the concepts of what other people are doing on those public body of waters and not respecting them well enough. So it's a tough situation to run into sometimes, especially when tournament fishing and money's on the line and you're that competitive, and then here they come.
Yep.
So let's hear it. I've got kind of my final question through with y'all, and anybody else has any more, last opportunity, fire away. Without seeing the lake, and I'm sure you've probably talked around to some of your guys that maybe been up there visiting it, seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
What's y'all's predictions for the weigh-in results?
I don't know. That team representing us, the Hightowers, they had probably 15 plus pounds out there a couple weeks ago, and they've missed a couple. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes over 20 to win out there.
I'll say 1788.
Man, that was precise.
Wildly specific.
So correct me if I'm right. You mentioned the name Hightower. So it's Ricky and Jeff that's actually competing. Brandon was not fishing it.
Yeah, Brandon fished with Ricky in Backwoods, and his brother Jeff fished with Ricky in SOS. And it will be the brothers that are fishing with us. And Jeff is no slouch. I mean, he can catch them just as good as his brother or his nephew. So don't sleep on Jeff Hightower.
And they're no sleeper when it comes to spotted bass either.
No.
So I got a question. Being you talked to him, I'm just curiosity on this part. Did they catch any smallmouth or meanmouth? Any of your guys in your club yet?
Not in my club. I did talk to Dusty Diamond, caught a pretty good looking meanmouth.
Yeah. I've seen the picture of it. We talked about it in the director's meeting the other night. But I was just curious from your club, not asking any details about it, but just curiosity if they're showing up. That's all I'm trying to pick a brain on that. So Ryan, Chris, any final adieus?
Nope. Congratulations, y'all. Awesome
Yeah.
season. Sounds like y'all had a good time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck, and we'll see y'all at the TC.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
Hopefully the night before there we can go out and get something to eat and have a drink or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Staying down there and Friday, Saturday night, we got a 5-bedroom cabin down there just to enjoy the whole experience. So
yeah.
Hey, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, I don't know which night, but I'm thinking Saturday night, because I don't know if I want to eat that meal on Friday night, but just because of the nerves for the next day. But Saturday night, I think we're going to be trying to hit up the old steakhouse that's up there. Everybody talks about that steakhouse being really, really good. So
awesome.
Which steakhouse is it?
I'll send
Logan's.
Oh, Lord.
It's not that highfalutin. It's kind of like an old. You ever been like
Outback?
No. I mean, this is like 20, 30 years ago. The old mom and pop's Ryan style steakhouse. It's like
Lord.
It looks like a Golden Corral kind of setup, like a Ryan.
Like a country fried steak.
But they actually, I mean, it's they cook you steaks and everything. It's everybody I've talked to says it's really, really good up there. So
awesome.
But I'm gonna probably hit up seafood the night before. So, dang, I was about to say something else. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what it was. We're actually going to see each other sooner than that next Saturday night, Nights of Lights. So
Yes,
I know
sir.
Tiny Boat Nation Southeast going to be there. Combee, you're going to be there. Lauren, probably, yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be a fun night. Again, thank y'all for coming on tonight on Hooked Up Live. Congratulations qualifying. Wish you the best. I know running a club as a president, you got to have some thick skin. And I know from what conversations you and I've had before, you're a very well-rounded stand-up feller, and we know we'll always be seeing you around in the TEC and as well in the future. So thank y'all for coming on tonight.
I appreciate those kind words, Merrick.
Yep. And we'll try to find some glittery, sparkly worms and see if. All right. Thank y'all all for coming on, and we'll see y'all next Saturday. All right.
All right.
See you.
See you later.
guys.
Bye.
That's it. Our Hooked Up Live with GA Bass S.O.S, Johnithan Combee, and Lauren Robards. We appreciate each and every one of y'all of our viewers. Again, just want to take just a brief moment and mention each and every one of our sponsors for Hooked Up Live: Lion Taming Serum, Just Catch Bass, Star Lures, G2 Gemini jerseys, Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors, Dugout Bait and Tackle, and PFD Fishing. And just that way everybody knows, at the bottom of the screen, right down here where it's going through right now, it's changed to 23 instead of 22. That's your code to enter in for 25% off. So I told you I was going to get that changed. So I've done it. Again, want to mention, I'm going to conclude the show by playing the advertisement for our Nights of Lights. It'll be not this Saturday, but next Saturday night. Go to our website. If you have not already purchased your meal tickets, the deadline is Friday, this Friday night. So make sure, pay your meal tickets, GeorgiaBassTech.com. We're limiting 200 people for those meal tickets. So get over there, purchase them now. If you have not, it's going to be an amazing night. A lot of anglers representing Georgia is going to be there. We're going to be hanging out, just kick back, having a good time, fellowshipping with one another. Some vendors, as well as if we can get that boat inside the facility, the Pontini is actually going to be there, the ePropulsion boat, built by Tiny Boat Nation. It's going to be an awesome night to remember. So get over to our website, sign up for it. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Appreciate our group, the band Waleska, that's going to be there performing as well. Get over and check them out, show them some love and some appreciation and support. And we appreciate each and every one of y'all. We'll be back Hooked Up Live this Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And we're down to our final 2 interviews. So God bless each and every one of you. And we will see y'all Thursday night.
There's no telling what electric John boat fishing could turn into.
Taking this TEC to a much higher level.
This is the best anglers in the state.
The TEC's the cream of the crop.
Meet a lot of folks with similar interests, in different parts of the state.
It's a community experience. We enjoyed every second of it.
It's a super big deal for us, something we won't forget for
a
very long time.
Something we absolutely will never forget.
Yeah, I'm still over the moon. It's amazing.
Let's get up there. Come on. Unbelievable.
Community, the John boat fishing that it's become, especially here in Georgia, it's an amazing thing to see. We enjoyed every second of it.